All right, Richard, we're back with another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top 24 quarterbacks for Week 12 now. Before we get started, let's just review how we did for Week 11.
First off, I hope everybody's still in the running in their leagues. So if you're listening to this, you're obviously doing well in at least one of your leagues. In Week 11, we had two quarterbacks that didn't play. We had Teddy Bridgewater at number 20 and Jameis Winston at number 22. Both who did not play. So of the remaining 22 quarterbacks on our list, 19 were in the top 24. So we were 19 of 22. Boom, boom, boom.
All right, that's a pretty good stat. Let's see how we do for Week 12. Let's get started for the top 24 quarterbacks for Week 12.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom.
Rolling on the field.
Goodfellas.
And number one, who else? Kyler Murray at New England. If he plays, he's our number one quarterback. There's the shoulder issue. Right now, he says it's not a big deal. And number two, Deshaun Watson at Detroit. It's a good matchup. Deshaun's been hot. Number three, Josh Allen, home against the Chargers. And what we expect will be a shootout.
This week's shootout.
And Josh Allen is starting to warm up again. Number four, Patrick Mahomes at Tampa Bay. Another game we expect to be a shootout.
This week's shootout.
Number five, Justin Herbert at Buffalo. Man, this rookie's been good. Ryan?
Yeah, Justin Herbert, despite missing one game, the rookie is the 7th quarterback in fantasy football, and he's the 8th quarterback in passing yards with 2,699, and he's tied for 6th with 22 TD passes on the year. The Chargers have their franchise quarterback.
Number six, we have Aaron Rodgers, home against Chicago. We ranked Rodgers high last week. Doesn't matter who he plays. He had a tough matchup against maybe the best pass defense. Doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers is a machine. He's up against another good defense. Doesn't matter. Number seven, Russell Wilson at Philadelphia. Russell needs to pick it up a little. And number eight, Tom Brady, home against Kansas City. Again, we expect this to be a shootout. Ryan called it. Tom Brady's been up and down this season. We think he's going to rebound against the Chiefs. And number nine, Matt Ryan, home against Las Vegas. Matty Ice is up against one of the worst pass defenses in the league. And number 10, here it is. Boom, boom, boom. Taysom Hill at Denver. We didn't get to talk much about Taysom last week because it was announced that he would be the starter after we recorded. But Ryan, what do you have to say about Taysom Hill?
Well, he's the best tight end quarterback in the league. He had 233 passing yards to go along with 51 rushing yards and 2 rushing TDs. He did what Lamar Jackson was supposed to do this season, and now they can wait to bring Breeze back.
What if Breeze can't come back at all? Taysom Hill looked good. Yes, it was Atlanta. He did what everybody thought Lamar Jackson was going to be doing this season, right? Like scoring touchdowns with his legs, throwing for enough yardage. Taysom Hill's doing it. Lamar Jackson is not. At number 11, we have Derek Carr at Atlanta. It's a good matchup for Derek Carr, right, Ryan?
Yeah, Derek Carr is playing against Atlanta. Obviously, a lot of quarterbacks are doing well. Atlanta's ranked 31st against the pass, so Derek Carr should have a strong game.
And number 12, Cam Newton, home against Arizona. It's a good matchup for Cam. We'll see what he does. He's been a little mercurial this year. And number 13, Kirk Cousins, home against Carolina. Kirk Cousins, we kept saying it was the Dalvin Cook show, but Kirk Cousins has been at 300 or close to it now a couple weeks and is really using Thielen and Jefferson, so we love it. And number 14, Jared Goff, home against San Francisco. Goff had a great game against a good defense in Tampa Bay. So now against San Francisco, we expect him to do well. 15, Ben Roethlisberger, home against Baltimore. It's a tough defense, but Pittsburgh has been throwing a lot. At 16, Ryan Tannehill at Indianapolis. Tannehill's going up against one of the best pass defenses in the league, but Tannehill's been pretty good this season. Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill, he's the 9th quarterback in fantasy football. He's tied for 6th with 22 passes, and he has A.J. Brown and Jonnu Smith to throw to on a team that loves to run with Derrick Henry. Tannehill is fantasy relevant because of his TD passes.
I have to agree. He has been solid from a fantasy perspective this season. A little surprisingly, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but he's normally a quarterback that doesn't pass for very much. And he's still not passing for that much, but he is passing for touchdowns. So what more could you ask for? At number 17, we have Matthew Stafford, who's home against Houston. Stafford's been a little inconsistent, but it's a good matchup. And we'll see if he gets Golladay back this week. At number 18, Lamar Jackson at Pittsburgh. And here's a guy whose fantasy stock keeps falling.
This week's fantasy player stock is falling.
Right now, I consider him fool's gold. If Lamar Jackson is not rushing for at least 80 yards, he's just another guy. And for all of those that say, oh, Lamar Jackson's really improved this passing game. No, he has not. At number 19, Tua Tagovailoa at the Jets. Tua looked not so good against Denver, but this is the Jets. We have hope. At number 20, Phillip Rivers, home against Tennessee. Ryan, what do you have?
Yeah, Phillip Rivers is going to have a pretty good matchup going against Tennessee. That's ranked 27th against the pass and 22 against the rush, so he should have a strong game.
At number 21, Daniel Jones at Cincinnati. It's a good matchup for Daniel Jones. I don't like Daniel Jones, but it's a very good matchup. He's looked better. At number 22, Teddy Bridgewater at Minnesota. We hope Teddy can play. It's a decent matchup for him. He's got so many weapons on that team. At number 23, Carson Wentz, home against Seattle. Here's another guy that, again, has a good matchup, and that's why we have him in our top 24. But, man, his stock is plummeting as well. Every week, it looks like he's just not making the right plays, making bad decisions. It was just a bad decision by Philadelphia to pay him that much money. At number 24, we have Andy Dalton home against Washington. Dallas has so many weapons on offense. Can Dalton do anything with them? We think he will, and that's our top 24.
Again, like always, thanks for coming on here and sharing your rankings.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck to everybody in week 12.